Well, Dave, a 1-1 draw. What was your reaction, first of all, to the game this afternoon?
I'm disappointed with our performance and certain aspects of it in terms of control, but in terms of opportunities we created and shots on goal and attempts on target, I don't think we've created more this season. We've come up against another former goalkeeper of mine who's had an absolute worldie and made saves that some would say he shouldn't make. So I can't fault us in terms of that. The game had everything. Penalties, disallowed goals, all of those things. But I wanted, regardless, just to take care of our stuff. And if we win the game and things elsewhere don't go in our favour, which there was a good chance that would happen, then so be it. So a slight tinge with disappointment that we've not won the game. I definitely would still be saying the same, even if we'd scored the last minute penalty. I think we need to be better and can be better, and hopefully that will be the case going into the next two massive games.
It's interesting, you say a day tinged with disappointment. Is that a measure perhaps of how far you've come as a team? Because you have finished fourth and it's been a really successful season.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, nothing to do with where we finished, and I always want to see a better version of us out there, and I want to see more consistency in terms of what we see every day at Carrington. I don't think we saw that today. Yeah. I spoke at half time, even at like I say, being in front. I think a similar thing happened last year when we lost an opportunity we had at Wrexham when we lost the game. Right. And I spoke about being us, and I went to a playoff game yesterday where two teams, in my opinion, played a little bit safe, and one won and one lost. And I think regardless of what you're going to go and achieve or not achieve, if you're true to you in terms of how you go about it, go and be expressive and go and do it in a way that we all want it to be. And I don't think we did that second half. I think we were a bit safe, and personnel wise, we can potentially afford to be a little bit safer if we have Woods at the top end of the pitch. When we have different personnel, we can't. We've got to be braver in terms of the areas we get on the ball and where we look to put the ball. Like I say, I'd like that to have been better, but can't fault the fact that we've created the opportunities we created. We finished with 79 points, and we finished fourth in the table. We've lost 1 in 20. For anyone to be displeased or disappointed or unhappy with what it's taken to get there would be stupid. I'm certainly not that. So we're in a good place, but I like to see what I know they can do, and I don't think we saw enough of that in the second half, especially.
You'd certainly have taken a place in the playoffs. I'm saying certainly. You certainly would have done middle of October, maybe. And at the start of the season, do you think that would have been a realistic target?
Yeah. Absolutely. Listen, our aim was to get promoted. We thought that at the start of the season, you go history in terms of what the amount of points required to get out of this league. We thought 87 would be the number. Yeah. Leighton Orient outpointed that, if you like. So we're 8 short of target, and you can look back and go, we could have done that there and that there. If that had happened, if we hadn't missed that, you're always going to do that. That's what football brings. But like I say, you judged over 46 games. Over 46 games, we finished fourth in the table. Some would say it doesn't really matter if you finish excuse me, 4th, 5th, 6th or 7th. You go into a playoff campaign with 3 opportunities to get out the league. We can, I'm sure Mansfield, having missed out by a goal, I think, are thinking, oh, what happened, or why didn't we take that? That's life. We have to move on. And we're faced with an opportunity which will be tough, because in my opinion the 4 teams that are in the playoffs are 4 really good teams, really well matched, with real quality throughout, but it's a cup competition and it's dealing with the game, not in some instances the enormity of the occasion, and hopefully we're well drilled and well prepared to be able to do that.
And it is Salford City, of course, in that final 4. How do you feel about it being Salford? Is that it's a local derby for one thing, which adds a little bit of spice to it. Yeah,
you look at it from our perspective as a group, as a management group, it really didn't make a great deal of difference of who we played. I think from a perspective, maybe a little bit of disappointment, because I'm sure if we'd have been going to Bradford, the stadium's massive at Elsmore. If we go to Carlisle with Elsmore, I'm sure there'll be a serious wrangle for certainly away tickets. Yeah, when we go there. But it is what it is. Like I say, it's in my opinion, even though we've won one of the games and drawn one of the games against them in the regular season, they're two really closely matched teams and well fought out games, if you like. So it's wide open. Like I say, we'll prepare this week to make sure we go there and be us, and then see what the second leg brings week on Saturday.
I'm really interested to see your team next weekend as well, because you can have other options. Hopefully Ryan Rydell could well be fit. Will Collar, we saw him make a cameo today. You made a tactical switch even midway through the first half today with Aki moving into midfield, Callum moving further forward. But you've got lots of options for next weekend now.
We do. Again, Ryan, obviously, we had to pull him out in the water, feeling something. With him and Will, again, strangely, they've got virtually exactly the same injury. The injury's not going to get any worse, but there's some discomfort there. And they're going to have to put up with that. We've got a week now. I think even with Will, that last 15 minutes he came on for, not really him. And I think openly admits he's in a little bit of pain and discomfort. But we've got now 5 days to get the two of them right and get anybody else that's close to the returning right. They don't come at a good time for us, but listen, that's no excuse. We can't sort of wallow in self-pity around the injuries we picked up. Our squad's strong enough, and we've got ourselves in a position where we've earned this opportunity. Now it doesn't matter who's playing, it's about 190 plus minutes, who is better and who wants to progress to a playoff final, and the rewards that are potentially at the end of that.
You're a bit of a veteran of the playoffs now, aren't you, as well?
I've experienced quite a few, and I've experienced everything in terms of losses in playoff semi-finals, playoff victories, penalties. That I've had pretty much every experience over 12-13 years in terms of what the playoffs bring. So they are, without question, the best way of getting promoted, but it's the worst way for your season to end because of the I suppose the jeopardy and the range of emotions that can potentially hit at the end of a 90-minute game in the final, but a 180-minute game in the semi-final. So the great games to be involved in. It's why we do it. We are all strange because, like I say, what it brings can be tough, but it also can be massively rewarding.
Look forward to seeing you next weekend. Well done.
Cheers, John. Thank you.